Mercedes' excellent result in Spain was followed by disappointment in Monaco, and the next race in Baku could end the same way. Many of you will be hoping to see Mercedes begin a championship fight soon. Maybe Baku could be a big step towards that though, but they have some concerns they need to address first. So what are they, and what should you expect from the team in Azerbaijan? Let's find out. Mercedes finished the Monaco Grand Prix in 5th and 8th position. They struggled to mount any kind of real challenge on the front four, but George Russell proved yet again that he's one to watch if Mercedes can fix their car. His consistency this season has far surpassed Lewis Hamilton. He currently sits 41 points behind Max Verstappen, who tops the drivers' standings. It isn't an unassailable gap, but 26 points to Sergio Perez in 3rd should be George's next goal. Lewis Hamilton, on the other hand, will have been very disappointed with how he performed in Monaco. His 8th position finish in qualifying wasn't good enough, and thanks to the nature of Monaco, he was never able to advance that position in the race. The 7-time world champion has really struggled with the bouncing of the Mercedes car, and even with porpoising no longer such a problem for the Silver Arrows, Lewis was still not happy with the ride of his Mercedes in Monaco. After his disappointing race, he said, "I kind of expected it. We weren't very good in low-speed sections in last race anyway. In the race, it was okay, but not on a single lap. So we anticipated it would be difficult here, but it's worse than we anticipated because of the bumps. It's just super bouncy for us. Everywhere. Slow, medium, and high speed. Very challenging. This isn't the same bouncing problem the team was struggling with before Barcelona though. That's right, they now have a different, non-porpoising related bouncing problem. Seems the team just can't catch a break this season. Toto Wolff says that the new problem is that the car is bottoming out. It might look like porpoising on a TV, but it definitely isn't the same problem. The ground effect floor's airflow isn't stalling anymore. Instead, a combination of ride height and suspension stiffness are causing the bottom of the car floor to hit the racetrack. We haven't had porpoising returning, we have bottoming out. We're just hitting the ground in a very different way. The car is too stiff, too low, and it's just the same gap like it was in qualifying in Barcelona. Mercedes Director of Trackside Engineering, Andrew Chauvelin, added some detail to why the bouncing was such an issue. Certainly, it was a lot harder to get the car to work around Monaco than it was in Barcelona. In Barcelona, we had shown that we had a good race pace, even though we know there's still work to do to close the gap to Red Bull and to Ferrari. But the challenge of Monaco is the low-speed nature. It's a very bumpy circuit, and we were struggling with the ride height of the car. That was affecting the confidence of the drivers to carry speed, and it just meant that we couldn't run as close to the optimum as we had been able to do in Spain. A lack of confidence in the car has been plaguing Lewis Hamilton this season, and unfortunately for him, Baku isn't going to be an environment to instill confidence in him. Monaco and Baku share a lot of traits. They are both street circuits, meaning there are a lot of slow-speed sections with very tight corners. In fact, Monaco is almost an open racing track compared to the tight right-angle turns that fill the Baku track layout. It isn't until turn 9 that drivers get away from the sharp right-angle turns that divide the city streets of the Azerbaijani capital. The slow-speed corners are a problem for the Mercedes car, but it is the bouncing that's really hurting the drivers, and that will be on show as well. At a normal racetrack, such as the Circuit de Barcelona in Spain, the track is sculpted to be smooth as it is only ever used as a racing track. There aren't any workmen ripping up the surface to fix a broken pipe or potholes that need filling. On street circuits like Monaco and Baku, the track is driven over by millions of cars between each race. The surface is ripped open by workmen and only repaired in small parts. So what you end up with is these tiny bumps all over the surface, which probably aren't noticeable in your car thanks to your nice soft suspension. When you drive over them at 200 kilometers an hour or more in a car with suspension so tight that you could feel a marble under the wheel, you feel every single one of those bumps. The good thing about Baku though is that there are some big high-speed sections that Mercedes will be able to make use of. It probably won't be enough of a boost for the team to push for better than 5th place, unfortunately. George Russell admitted that the best he can hope for is to continue his run of top 5 finishes. It definitely will be more suited, but I don't think it's going to transform our finishing position, he conceded. At the moment, around Monaco we were 6 tenths behind, and into Baku we'll probably be 3 tenths behind the front runners, we hope, for the best case. In Monaco, Hamilton was incredibly vocal about how much the W13 was bouncing. Hamilton is also hoping for a better showing around Baku, saying that after Monaco that he's tired of all the bouncing, shaking his head. "I'm praying the car doesn't feel like it does here. My teeth and my jaw going the whole time, I'm done with the shaking. Ours is so stiff that the suspension is driving it back into the ground. I'm looking forward to some more open track, and I'm praying that it is not as bumpy as here," he said. This was the worst in this car so far because of the potholes. potholes. I don't know if it's the porpoising. I hope it's not what we had in the last race, so I want it to not be a problem. But if there are potholes, then in the corners, we can have them. Like Hamilton says, the new problem for Mercedes is that their suspension is so tight, the car has no give. Part of their solution to porpoising was to tighten up the suspension. What this did was limit the range that the floor could move in relation to the wheels. This stopped the floor getting too close to the track surface, which restricted the room for airflow, causing the airflow to stall. It also means that the suspension is less capable of absorbing any lumps in the track surface. If they change the suspension travel so it's better at absorbing the lumps, then the car may start porpoising again. During Friday in Monaco, Lewis Hamilton actually had his suspension changed to increase the travel so that it would absorb the lumps better. While that may have been an option at the very low-speed Monaco circuit, it won't be an option in Baku. The start-finish straight is incredibly long, and last season, some cars were crossing the finish line at almost 350 kilometers an hour. Mercedes appear to only be able to solve one problem at a time this season, and this is clearly going to hamper them as different circuit characteristics throw up new challenges. This is exactly the case at the moment, with Monaco and Baku being similar circuits in theory, but posing very different problems. It is therefore difficult for the team to establish a base configuration for the W13, as Chauvelin explains. But we're all aware that in addition to adding base performances to the car, we've got to make it work over a wider range of circuits. So these are all things that we're busy in preparation for Baku, but also longer term because there are other challenging tracks that will come up. But all of those projects are being worked on really hard because the team and the drivers are desperate to get back to the front. Mercedes dominated the sport between 2014 and 2021 during the turbo hybrid era. The German outfit won 111 of the period's 160 races on their way to claiming every one of the era's constructors' titles. It was this success that gave Lewis Hamilton the tools to become the most successful driver of all time. Wolff does not want the team to wait around before returning to this kind of form. However, he takes some comfort from the lessons that the team are learning as a result of their struggles. The German said, "I want to be part of winning at the front. These are important lessons we're learning here, and it's going to be the basis of us performing long-term again," he added. While it's unlikely that Mercedes will find a way to win in Baku, the team is still optimistic for the rest of the season now they have porpoising under control. For now, fans will have to be patient, but maybe you can let a little bit of optimism creep in for the future. As a Mercedes fan, what are your hopes for Baku? And how do you see the rest of their season going? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Until we see you next time, drive safe and bye-bye.